Hello there, and then welcome to a brand new lesson. This is How Beyond Numbers, where we learn maths the easy way. In this lesson, we are looking at operations on fractions. Specifically, we are looking at the multiplicative inverses, that is, reciprocals. So, without much ado, let's quickly look into it. Now, multiplicative inverse simply has to do with flipping fractions, okay? And that is what we actually use in solving division problems. So when we say multiplicative inverse, what does it mean? So as you can see, when we talk of multiplicative inverse, it is a number that when you multiply by the original number, the result of your product should be 1. You see, the number that when you multiply by your original number, the result of the product will be 1. Now, for any fraction at all, let's say if you have a fraction a over b, then its multiplicative inverse, which is also known as the reciprocal, okay? So the multiplicative inverse is also known as the reciprocal. So its multiplicative inverse would just be a flip of the original fraction. If you have to flip a over b, it becomes b over a. That is for every fraction at all. And you realize that it simply means if you multiply a over b times b over a, what are you going to get? We know how to multiply fractions. First, we choose to simplify vertically or diagonally. This vertically isn't possible. So trying the diagonal, b cancels out b once each. Then we have a over a giving us 1 each. Hence, we have 1 times 1, which then gives us a 1. Then 1 times 1 also gives us a 1. And we know that gives us what? A 1. See? So the multiplicative inverse is all that you see over here. When you multiply any number at all by another number such that your answer or the product gives you 1, we call it the multiplicative inverse. Let's look at some examples. So as you can see, we have this that we want their multiplicative inverse. Is what is the multiplicative inverse of the following? I'll teach you how to solve it. Okay. Now, after we solve, I'll give you some basic rules that you wouldn't even need to solve to get the multiplicative inverse. So without much ado, let's look at how we are going to solve them. Now, since we don't know the multiplicative inverse, we can let it be a variable. So I'm going to say, let the multiplicative inverse be x. You see, so if the multiplicative inverse is x, then it simply implies that for the first one, 1 over 7 times the multiplicative inverse should give you 1. Remember, that was the property we stated here, that the multiplicative inverse times the original number product should give you 1. Now we need to make x the subject. So let's simplify what we have on the left hand side. 1 over 7 times x gives us x over 7, which is equal to 1. Then making x the subject, what do? We just multiply both the right hand side and then the left hand side by 7 each, so that we have times 7, then times 7. This 7 cancels out this, and we have x being equal to what? 7. So with that, we can conclude that it implies the multiplicative inverse of 1 over 7 is 7. Let's look at the second one. So for the second one too, we go through that same process. We say we let our multiplicative inverse be x. Then we know 4 times x should give us 1. That is 4 times the multiplicative inverse should give us 1. Making x the subject, we are going to what? Get our 4x being equal to 1. And then we divide both sides by the 4. This 4 cancelling this 4, we have our x being equal to 1 over 4. You see, and hence the multiplicative inverse of 4 is 1 over 4. Then for the last one, which is 3 over 5, we are going to let the multiplicative inverse also be x. 2 times x, and the multiplication, the inverse multiplied by its number, as we have seen, should give us what? 1. Trying to simplify, we have 3x over 5 being equal to 1. And with this, we can easily see we want to what? Cross multiply. Cross multiplying, we have 3x being equal to what? Your 5. You know this is over 1. So the numerator multiplies the denominator, and then same applies here. Making x the subject now, we need to divide both sides by 3. Hence, we say if this 3 cancels out this 3, our x is equal to 5 over 3. And you would clearly see that if you have to multiply 3 over 5 by 5 over 3, what is going to happen? You are going to get 1. Now, with these done, let's look at the rules. They are basic rules that if you understand them, you wouldn't even need to solve as we have done here. You just look at the number and then you'll be able to tell its multiplicative inverse. So to simply put all the calculation we've done in words, and then for you to be able to easily determine the reciprocal without solving. First of all, when the number you have is a proper fraction or an improper fraction, if you want its multiplicative inverse, we say simply swap the numerator and the denominator. Simply swap it. Following that rule, if you look at the first one we did here, which was 1 over 7. So taking 1 over 7, then it simply implies that its reciprocal or its multiplicative inverse is just going to be 7 over 1. You see, we have swapped the numerator for the denominator, and then the denominator also becoming our numerator, you see. So this is what we mean by the first rule. It might be it might be a mixed fraction. For instance, if you have a 2 whole number 1 over 3, then all you need to do is to rewrite it in what? The improper form, which then becomes what? 2 times 3, giving us a 6. 6 times 6 plus 1 gives us a 7. So 7 over 3. Hence, its reciprocal is going to be what? We swapping. You see, so numerator becoming denominator and then denominator becoming numerator, we have 3 over 7. As simple as that. This is the basic rule. The second one is also an application of this first one. It says if you have a whole number, put the number under 1. Now, if you have a whole number such as 4, as we solved over here, it reciprocal. It says put this number under 1. So it is just 1 over, it is just 1 over 4. We have put the number under 1. In a sense, it just as the first one, because this is 4 over 1. So rewriting it so that it becomes a numerator going for denominator and then denominator going for numerator. That is what we've done over here. Any whole number you have at all, even if it is 10, put it under 1. That is 1 over 10. And you are good to go. And the last one was mixed numbers, which I demonstrated over here. So basically, this is how we find the reciprocals of numbers. And you should know that even if you are given in what decimal, you can always choose to write the decimal as a fraction. So 5 over 10. And then you get its reciprocal by using any of these laws, which just says you should swap the numerator and the denominator so that it becomes 10 over 5. As simple as that. So as usual, I'll leave you with some exercises so you try it on your own just to test your understanding. So here are 5 questions you can try on your own. It's just an application of all that we've done in this lesson. This Hub Beyond Numbers where we learn maths the easy way. If this is your first time on this channel and you think it will be of help to you, you can subscribe if you so do wish, so that anytime I release a video, you'll be notified as well. See you in our next lesson. Bye for now. Stay safe.